Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Guys, it's Friday. Good morning. How we doing?
I'm not doing too well, Jenny.
Yeah,
you know I'm not doing well.
I'm worried about you.
You know I'm not. Don't start gloating, Skip. Don't start. Don't start.
Wait a second. You couldn't even come in the studio and face me today? You had to run home and hide behind a camera in some remote studio someplace? I don't know where you are, but you should be right here. You've got to have the guts to face up to what your man did not do last night.
Skip Bayless, as bad as 2020 was for everyone else, 2021 has been great for you. You cannot get a better start to 2021 than what you've gotten thus far.
You know what? Skip is feeling pretty good these last couple of months. He's feeling himself, and I can already sense it on a Friday. But, Shannon, you mentioned you're not feeling so hot today. We do have to talk about what some were calling a finals preview last night. It just didn't go Shannon's way. Despite no Kevin Durant, the Nets are feeling it just like Skip Bayless. Last night, they took down LeBron and the Lakers 109-98, who are without Anthony Davis and Dennis Schroeder. James Harden and Kyrie Irving led the Nets with a combined 44 points, and Harden dished out 11 assists. LeBron finished with a game-high 32 points in the loss. So, Shannon, I start with you. Are you surprised LeBron wasn't able to keep the Lakers in this game?
No, it's kind of hard to keep a team in the game, Skip, when you're minus 30 from the three-point line. And that's what we've seen over the last probably, say, 10 or so games, is that they're shooting so poorly behind the arc, and the other teams are shooting so well. When you allow a team to shoot 46% from the three-point line, and they shoot the volume in which they shot the ball, they made 18 threes. Skip, over the last 3 games, they've made 65 threes. It's going to be hard for someone to overcome that when you only make 6 or 7 threes. And remember, before garbage time, Skip, they had only made 6 threes. So they get 2 in garbage time, so I will discount those. So when the game really mattered, they had only made 6. And the Nets couldn't miss, Skip. Joe Harris, what did he go? He went 6 or 7 from 3. TLC went 5 of 8 from 3. And Landry Shamet went 2 of 3 from 3. Skip, it's hard to overcome that. LeBron shot 60% from the floor. He gave you 32, 8, and 7. But when you don't have another guy that can generate offense, you don't have Schroeder that can initiate offense, you don't have another guy really that can go get a shot like AD can. So, no, I am not surprised. But what I am surprised by, the Nets and how the others, the role players, the guys, not the leading actors. Am I surprised by what Kyrie did? No, I thought he had a relatively quiet night, although he was sensational in spurts. James Harden, am I surprised by what he did? No, I know what he... But when you get Joe Harris doing what he's doing, you get a TLC, can't miss. You get a Landry Shamet coming in the little minutes that he has, he goes 2 or 3 from 3, and he can't miss. Skip, it's going to be hard to overcome that. They started with a small lineup, they forced Frank Vogel to go second half to start Keith Morris instead of Mark Gasol. But I'm not surprised, Skip. LeBron James had it going from everywhere except the 3. Skip, he was driving the ball. The step back was flawless last night. So I'm not surprised. LeBron James, he was only a -1, Skip, when he was in the game, and then he was they're -15 when he's out of the game. So what showed me last night, it kind of reminded me of last year in Cleveland. That's what it kind of looked like out there at times, because guys just couldn't get their shots going, and KCP is struggling from the 3. Last 13 games, Skip, he's 23%. He needs to be better because he's the dead-eye shooter. He's the guy that's going to get the majority of the shots when they double down on LeBron and he swings the ball or kicks it to him. Remember, first play last night, the hammer pass down the baseline, and he has a wide-open 3, and he misses it.
Okay, Mr. Sharp.
Yes.
All year, I've had to sit here all basketball season and hear you tell me how the #1 defensive efficiency team is your Los Angeles Lakers, led by LeBron James.
Yes.
All season long, I've had to sit in this seat across from you hearing that the Brooklyn Nets are abysmal on defense. They are a disaster on defense, says Shannon Sharp.
Yes.
And then I sat for 4 quarters last night and watched the Brooklyn Nets actually play, dare I say, defense. It was pretty good. They held your Lakers to 98 total points. your Lakers couldn't break 100 against those disastrous defensively Brooklyn Nets. And
Skip,
meanwhile, yeah, go ahead.
Skip, the Lakers shot 48% from the field. It was just the discrepancy between the three ball. It's so discouraging. They got the game within 8, Skip, and the guy shoots the air ball. Nobody grabs the rebound for the Lakers. Somebody from the Nets grabs the ball, kicks it out. He makes a 3. Now it's back up to 11, and they don't look back from that point on. That was the difference in the ball game, Skip. I really thought the 3 ball that the Nets made, Skip, they was late in the a lot of those were late in the shot clock. Joe Harris coming out off the inbounds. Joe Harris, shot clock going down, he bank kisses it in off the glass. When they're making shots like that, Skip, you just throw your hand up and say, Coach, we getting ready for Miami on Saturday night.
Okay, but if you're the #1 defensive team in all of basketball, can't you get more hands in faces of three-point shooters? You know what they are coming in because they had a chance last night. If they'd gone 20-plus threes, they got to 18. They would have become the first team in NBA history to go 3 straight games making 20-plus three-point shots. They came close. They were 2 of 8 in the fourth quarter. If they'd made just a couple of more, they would have broken or set the record. So why couldn't the #1 defensive team get hands up and make it a little harder for them to make threes?
They got lazy, Skip. What happens is that when you have James Harden and Kyrie that can break you down off the dribble, which they were doing last night, so now you come to help. When you come to help, you got to help off Joe Harris. You got to help off TLC. You got to help off somebody, Skip, because you have to realize everybody that's in the game can make the 3. Because when they start Jeff Green instead of DeAndre Jordan, now everybody is a viable option at the 3-point line. So you got to bring help from somewhere. So now you come help. He drives and dish. He drives and kick, and guys are getting wide open looks. Yes, there were sometimes, guys trying to get, LeBron got caught with his hand in the cookie jar in the corner with TLC. Horton Tucker, he got caught at the top of the key, leaving his guy trying to sneak in. And when you do things like that, they make you pay. Now, sometimes you can get away with it, skipping the guy misses. But last night and over the last 3 games, the Nets have been dead on from the 3-point line. And so you can't afford to make those mistakes when you play in that team. But like we said, Skip, good defense, great defense. Sometimes you can play great defense, but sometimes guys give you better offense. We've seen guys make tough shots, and it's like there's nothing you can do about that. The guy just made a better shot than what you were playing defense.
Okay, now to your man, LeBron James. As we stated a couple of days ago here on Undisputed, this was a golden opportunity for him to run through. Now we're hearing that AD's going to be out for maybe 4 weeks. So it's more games. We had a 9-game stretch up to the All-Star break, but we should probably throw in another couple of games after that, and they're unsure about it. So they're just sort of guessing at, let's say, 4-ish weeks, okay? But it's a stretch of games in which LeBron, who is already the MVP frontrunner, can close the case. If he keeps coming up bigger and bigger and bigger without AD at his side, then obviously he's going to run away with MVP. So at Minnesota, he did what he had to do. They did finally pull away and win that game. Then here comes the Nets, but there's no KD. I believe KD is the best player on the planet. I believe that KD is better than AD. So I thought KD was a bigger loss to the Nets than AD was to LeBron. That's just my estimation of how this game shaped up. So I fully expected LeBron to dominate this game, to take it over and help his Lakers pull away from Nets featuring only Kyrie and Harden. And that did not happen.
Only Kyrie and Harden.
Okay, well, again, what happened at the start of the game? As you point out, the Nets came out really small, shockingly small, almost as small as the Rockets were with Harden in their small ball lineup a year ago. I tried to add up the inches. They were actually only 2 inches taller of the 5 guys who started the game for the Nets last night than the Rockets were with James starting last year, small ball. Just 2 inches separated them because they went ahead and went with Bruce Brown, who's 6'4". Joe Harris is 6'6", but plays like he's about 6'2". Jeff Green is still playing. He's on his 10th NBA team. He's 6'8", and he was their postman last night. He was their center. Kyrie is all of 6'2", and James is, of course, 6'5". So that's the lineup they started. I immediately tweeted that, King, you're on. It should be a super highway to the basket for you because you are being guarded in the first quarter right out of the box by the immortal Joe Harris. I don't think he's ever been confused with a first-team all-defensive player. His feet don't move quite as quickly as most NBA players' feet move. He can really shoot it. As you said, he was 6 of 7 from 3. But I thought maybe he would burn himself out on defense just trying to stay with LeBron. But apparently he didn't drain himself on defense. I'm not even sure he plays much defense, but that's beside the point. LeBron had what should have been a championship parade route